Hello everyone and welcome to today's video where we are making this amazing envelope folio. I absolutely love this one, mostly because it is so strong. I love a good, when you make a folio and you can hold it and it just feels strong, and that is definitely this folio. So quick thing, this is a digital kit, so you can actually purchase this, cut it out and print it, and this is kind of what you'll end up with. You can decorate it more. That's part of the beauty of this, is it's kind of just the blank base, so you can do whatever you want with it, and I'm really excited. And if you want this kit, you can get it in one of two ways. You can become a gold subscriber during the month of April 2025, or you can get it at any point on Etsy. We'll of course have both of those options linked in the description of this video, or you can go directly to www.pinkmonarchprints.com. Alright, and now for the tutorial. This tutorial is definitely beginner friendly if you pay attention to some of these first instructions. I pulled out all of my pieces. I have already inked everything and scored everything. So already scored means that I've folded all of the folding lines. And one extra thing that I did was I sewed along the edges of some of my pieces. That is an optional step. I just thought it'd be fun. The only pieces I sewed along were these light cream colored ones. So you can see those right here. Maybe if I hold still for a second, and you can kind of tell that there is some thread around those. I didn't sew anything else, but again, it's totally up to you, totally an optional step. I only printed backing paper on a couple of the pages, and I will put those up on screen, which pages I printed with a dark paper on the back. And it does actually say on the paper to print dark neutral paper on the back of this page, so you know which ones to do, but just in case, I'm putting them up on the screen here. So I have my circles, my dark pieces that are the small pieces, and those light pieces, and then the main folio pieces, which are those 4 pieces right there, and that is where we're going to start. So grab your main folio pieces. You're going to need this really big piece here, and the triangle flap piece, and then the 2 side flap pieces. I like to just go through and crease my edges once or twice, usually go in both directions, just to make sure that it is good to go. So right here, I'm going to grab these pieces and I'm going to be gluing them on. I flipped my paper so the white was facing up. I just thought that would look better to gluing the folio down on that side, but of course you can do it however you like. This to me just looked really nice and worked very seamlessly. So you can go ahead and start. The trick to this step is that you're going to want to make sure that your folds are straight so that your paper fits inside of that main rectangle. Just meaning that you don't want your folds to get in the way of each other so that your folio can't close properly. So just take your time on this step and make sure that everything is good to go. The good thing about glue is that you can manipulate it as you've put it down before it dries. So I will often lift my pieces up if I don't like how they turned out and just try again. But this time I got it all right pretty much on the first try, which is kind of a surprise. But this is what you have so far. You have the base of your folio all done. Our next step is going to be to glue down the light colored neutral pieces. Included in the kit are 2 sets of these so that you have enough for the front and the back. This is what makes the folio really strong, it adds dimension, and it looks really nice. So I went ahead and laid everything out where I wanted it, and then I began to glue. I'm going to put on some relaxing music while I finish up this gluing part. My one tip for you guys is just to make sure that you try your best to center these pieces of paper onto your folio and try to get an even border of that dark edge all the way around. If you are making this, then I hope you really enjoy this part. I found it very therapeutic and very relaxing. Okay, and now that that step is all done, here is kind of what it is looking like. You have a wonderful base folio, and you could simply use this and do whatever you want with it. But in the kit, I did include some extra pieces so you have a guideline if you want. These are those said pieces, and I just made one to go on pretty much every surface other than the triangle flap. So you could do these belly bands here, for example, like that. I just like to, you can kind of move them around a little bit if you want to. Pockets right here, here, and here. And then over here is this pocket like that. Oops, like that. And on the very back is that belly band. So that goes on the very back of the folio. I just didn't show it. And at this point, I'm just going to start gluing down all of these pockets and lining them up. I do want to emphasize to you guys again that the whole purpose of this folio is a great base to start, and it's a really good opportunity for you to use other supplies that you have, other kits that you love, and being able to combine them with this folio to use your own creative freedom and expression to create something beautiful. So you don't even have to use these pockets. I think they're a really good idea, but another idea I had that I just want to throw in there is you could print other pieces of paper onto the backs of these pockets and then cut them out because the sizing is nice to have. You could cut them out and then put the fun paper that you printed facing up and then this brown paper just facing down. Or you could just create your own pockets with other papers that you have. You can use stickers, different colored inks, ephemera, fussy cuts, and just make this super duper beautiful. Also included in the kit is a closure option, which is going to be these circles, and then so you're going to need some string as well. You can do different closures. You don't even have to do a closure. You can do whatever you want, and it'll be just fine. But this is one of the options that I wanted to give you guys. So first thing I just did is I glued down the two, so there's 4 dark brown circles. I glued 2 together and then 2 more together just to make them a little bit thicker and heftier. And then these light circles are just to go on top to add more dimension, and it makes them a little bit more durable and a little thicker. That's what I like to do. I just like to make sure that they are going to be strong and last a long time. So I pretty much just glued 3 circles together to create one finished button, I suppose we could call it, and then we got ready to glue them on. One of my personal favorite ways to glue these on and make them really strong is to use some cardboard. I had some thin cardboard and I found that that worked really well. I had some fun options for string, but I wanted to keep it with the brown and cream theme, so I went with this fun string right here. And to do this part, you're going to glue a piece of cardboard onto one of your paper buttons that you made with the string. So I added quite a bit of glue because I wanted it to be, again, very strong. And I went ahead and put that string right under, added extra glue for good measure, and just kind of held it down for a minute and tried to just keep it strong. It is a little bit difficult if you want to use a thicker string. It just gets a little harder. So I think, honestly, the thinner the string, the better, but you still want it to be strong enough that's not going to snap or anything. So this one is pretty good. I think if I had a string that was maybe even a little bit thinner, it would be okay. And for the next one, I did the same thing, except I didn't put the string on because the string needs a free end and it needs to be able to wrap around. So I just did the cardboard on this one. If you don't want to do cardboard, you can actually just use paper scraps and just glue a bunch together. It's a little bit more time consuming, but it is a good way to use up paper scraps. And you can also use chipboard or anything that you can really think of that just is going to give the button a little bit more height. And it needs to be smaller than your actual button size because the string needs to wrap around it. So I put on my first button. I just put it right here. I wanted to not block that pocket, so I put this other button a little bit lower, and I was trying to get a feel for if I liked the look, and I did. So I went ahead and glued that on. And pro tip, make sure that your button is actually dry. before you try and wrap the string around it. I admit I get a little bit antsy, and luckily it didn't backfire this time, but it has backfired many times in the past. I think while I'm filming, I just get a little bit anxious to get the product finished and get to editing the video. I don't know, it's just, that's a personal problem, but take it from me, try and let your buttons dry before you wrap them completely around. All right, my favorite part, let's do a little bit of a walkthrough, a final kind of finished product review. So first things first, I really like this closure. There's a lot of different ways that you could do this, and this way is always fun. It's always fun to have a string that just wraps around, and it felt pretty secure. So you open it up, and there are just these really simple layouts. There's so much that you could do with this, so much you could add on to this, and a lot of creative expression to be made. But yeah, it's really simple and absolutely fabulous. I love how strong it is. I love the closure method. I love the colors, and I can't wait to embellish this more in a future video. And again, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you are wanting this kit, you can get it on Etsy. You can get it on www.pinkmonarchprints.com. And you can also get it when you are a gold subscriber during the month of April 2025. It is included, and as well as a bunch of other freebies if you are a subscriber to any of our plans. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you aren't. It really helps out our channel, and we will see you in our next video. Goodbye.